Հայրենակիցներ ողջույն, ես Taguhi Oganyan եմ եւ մենք գտնվում ենք Los Angeles-ի Children's հիվանդանոցում, որտեղ որ րոպեներ առաջ տեղի ունեցավ մի հիանալի առավոտ, երկուշաբթի առավոտը այստեղի երեխաները եւ ինչու՞ չէ, ողջ անձնակազմը սկսեցին երգերաշտությունով հանձինես մեր շատ սիրելի Seroja Avoyani, Meruzhan Margaryani եւ Ruben Harutyunyani։ Բայց թե ով է նստած իմ կողքին նստած է այն վիրահատող բժիշկը, որը կարող եմ ասել կյանքերը փրկում ամեն օր, եւ այդ կյանքերից մեկը մեր շատ սիրելի Seroja Avoyani որդին է, Brian-ը, եւ մի քանի հարցով այժմ կդիմեմ բժիշկին։ Doctor, good morning and thank you so much for taking just a few minutes of your important time here at the hospital to join us. Now, Brian's surgery is one of a kind. I want to say it's one in a dozen. And less than that, really. And you were the doctor that was able to perform this for the first time in the Children's Hospital history. Please tell us a little about Brian's condition. What condition did he have? Since I just found out that they found out about this since birth, and why this route? Why was this the last stage to save his little heart?
Well, Brian was born with a very rare heart lesion where both the tricuspid and the pulmonary valve was not normal. Those are the two valves on the right side of the heart that guards the heart as the blood goes into the lungs to get oxygen. So he's had multiple surgeries since infancy, and more recently, both those valves have become worn out. They were both leaky and they were both too narrowed. And the options was to either go back and have another open heart operation where both valves would be replaced at his young age, or we were going to try to implant two relatively new stent valves into his heart to avoid an operation. So we ended up putting a valve in the pulmonary position as well as in the tricuspid position, and both these valves now work very well. There's no leakiness, and both valves are wide open. So, from a symptoms point of view, he is back to being a little boy and playing and having fun and growing. So that's great.
A surgery like this, are they expected to see any post-operative surgeries, anything in the future? A child like this, any mom who's watching right now, that might be hearing the story or might have their children's health looked into further, what are they looking forward to 20 years from now? Or what is Brian looking forward to 20 years from now?
Well, let me first correct you by saying that this is not surgery. We don't do any cutting and sewing. This is a cardiac catheterization. We are taking tubes, putting them into the blood vessel, running those tubes through the blood vessel into the heart, and working from the inside of the heart. So we don't have to cut from the outside. And that's why their healing is much faster. There's no bones to heal back. In fact, he gets up by the evening of the procedure and he's home the next morning. So I think
he was bragging about, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember when I first saw him back the next visit, he was back and doing his regular things all little boys do. So I thought that was very gratifying to me. Now this valve has been around for about 10 years. At first was available in Europe. The United States got this about 3 years ago. What makes Brian special is that most of these valves, the majority of them are put into the pulmonary position. That's what it was designed for. But in his case, because he's had previous surgery in the tricuspid valve, we were able to also put this in the tricuspid position. And because in his case, both valves were bad, we were able to put both of them at the same time to minimize the number of procedures. So I expect him to do well.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Hopefully he can visit you 10 years from now and you won't be able to recognize him. So with that said, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to meet you, an honor to interview you. Thank you very, very much. And maybe we'll be back with some more music and dancing crews next time, maybe next year, okay? Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Did you talk to Dr. Ng a lot before the surgery, or your parents, or?
Yeah, I did a lot.
How many days did you spend in the hospital before or after your surgery?
Well, only like 1 day.
Only like 1 day you came in for the surgery?
I went on Wednesday, then I got out of the hospital on Thursday.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so you were able to just go home the next day. How'd you feel? Did you feel better after the surgery, or were you tired still because you just had surgery?
I felt better.
Yeah?
Yeah, I felt great.
Yeah, so how did it feel different after the surgery as opposed to like before it?
Well, like since before, I didn't have enough energy, but after surgery, I had enough energy and like I was good. I was able to like be like the other kids and have fun.
Like what kind of games do you like to play? Like is you a soccer guy, basketball guy?
Well, yeah, I sometimes play soccer and sometimes basketball. And
So you're back doing everything you like to do.
I used to also go to karate.
Oh, karate. Okay. So
We like sometimes like run around and do laps and like do some stuff.
is it taekwondo? What kind?
No, it was karate.
Okay.
Yeah,
How
it's got
cool.
one like orange belt.
Orange belt. All right. Well, thank you very much. Is there anything else you want to say to Dr. Ng and the other people here at the hospital?
Oh, I just want to say like special thank you for surgery and giving me enough energy and making me feel better.
All right. Well, thank you.
Very good. Do you play a musical instrument like your father?
Well, not that much.
Not that much.
Like only once.
Do you want to? You don't want to? What do you want to do when you grow up?
Become a drummer.
I'm sorry?
Become a drummer.
Drummer, okay. But you don't play a musical instrument?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Drummer. All right.
And explain again what makes this unique, because you know, we, like as you said before, it is common these days for there to be sort of stents placed in bodies to try instead of open heart surgery. But in Brian's case, you needed two of them, right, Brian? That was
Well, stent technology has been around for a while. The adults would put stents into coronary arteries when they're narrow to try to prevent or somebody who had a heart attack.
right. It keeps it open and
Right,
prevents
keeps up the
blockage.
blood vessels. In kids with congenital heart disease, such as Brian, he has a very special situation where two valves were bad and it needed to be replaced at a young age.
How many valves are there?
There are four valves in the heart, two on the right side, two on the left side. The right side sends the blood into the lungs to get oxygen. The left side sends the blood to the body after oxygen has been taken up by the lungs and then to feed the body. In his case, both valves on the right side were not normal to begin with, and so he's had multiple surgeries in the past to fix that area. But these valves have a lifespan to them, so at some point it became narrowed and leaky. So some blood just goes.
Is the lifespan wearing out of the valve, or is it that the body is growing around the valve?
I think in his case it was mostly that the valve himself just wore out.
Okay.
The body also can react to it and put calcium on it and just make it stiff, and so therefore it becomes tight. And so the valves just don't move as well as it should. So in his case, the options was to just do surgery, replace both valves. But again, you know, about 3 years ago, we've had some new technology where valves are now part of it, put into a stent, and we can actually implant that into children with pulmonary valve problems. Now, the pulmonary valve is the valve that connects the heart to the lungs. In his
The
case,
right side.
The right side, correct. And that's what has been going on for the last 3 years now. But in Brian's case, he also had problems with the tricuspid valve. That is the valve that guards the upper chambers and the lower chambers. So blood goes from the upper chambers to the lower chambers. The lower chamber has the muscle that squeezes the blood into the lungs. So during that squeeze, the valve that is sitting between the upper and lower has to close to prevent the blood from going backwards. So that's what valve, in his case, the valve was leaking. That area also was narrow, so it was hard for the blood to get across, to get into the right ventricle. But during squeeze, some of the blood also goes backwards. So you can imagine the difficulty of the blood going backwards and forward across a tight area. And so we end up using this valve on the tricuspid valve as well. Again, we did both at the same time. And I
So
think that's what
two valves, one
That's
on
right.
the top right, and one on the tricuspid area between the two.
So there is a paper that I quote where the title was "Double Melodies in Concert."
Right.
So that's what he
Why do
had.
they call it the melody of the valve?
No, that's just a name that came. I don't know the word.
Oh, it's the name of the product.
That's the name of the product.
It's not a scientific.
No.
All right.
You said this was the first time you've done this procedure here at Children's.
It's the first one here, and
And
again,
you did also in
I did this in
Texas.
Houston, but
Yeah.
I know that from talking to Medtronics, they had stated that they have about 5 cases reported in the country, and I think I've done 2 of those 5, or 2 of those, one of those 5, and this would be the 6th one. So, and
And you see yourself doing this more here at Children's?
Well, I think these are not common cases. They're rare just because these kinds of lesions are rare. But I see that as more and more surgeries possible for kids, as they outgrow these valves, there will be more of these types of situations for us to put these valves in to avoid surgery.
So the valves have a lifespan?
Well, the valve has been sort of under research and so forth for about 10 years, actually. They have this in Europe for a longer time just because there's less FDA
So will Brian have to
regulation.
come back in 10 years, or you'll check him?
No, we check him every
Every
year.
year?
To make sure he's okay. He's still got a lot of growing to do.
Yeah.
How do you check? I mean, you were showing me pictures
examination.
previously. Well, X-rays, or I mean, what technology are you using to be
We
able
use
to?
echocardiogram ultrasound.
So it's an echo.
You can look at ultrasound of the valve to look at how the valve is functioning, see if it's narrow, see if it's leaking, and so forth.
Which is commonly used when placing stents. Sort of.
I'm sorry, what
Which
is?
is commonly used to navigate.
Well, we'll use fluoroscopy. It's a cath lab. We have a huge lab where it's a biplane where there's two cameras basically guiding us through the blood vessels into the heart, through the heart into the lungs, and helping us to guide the stent with the valve into position. So it's actually fluoroscopy.
Well, it sounds like folks are eager to get the
Yeah.
show started.
Are you ready to listen to some music? Yeah, who isn't ready to listen to some music on a Monday morning? Come on in. Come on in, have a seat.
Have a seat up
Hey,
front.
how are you?
Up front?
Doing good? Give me five. What's your name?
Christopher.
Christopher. Well, welcome. Are you ready to listen? Are you ready to listen to some music on a Monday morning? Never a bad time to party now, is it? Come on in. Come on in. I like your PJs. Pretty cute. On behalf of the Avoyan family and Meruzhan family, I'm only a family friend. My name is Trecy Oganyan. I'm a local Armenian TV host. It was just an honor to be in contact with Lorenzo and to have this communication with you all. I'm a parent whose son has had surgery here before, back in 2001, and I know what an amazing team you guys are, and it's a real true honor to see another I want to call it a miracle, another miracle take place. I hope all the little ones that are watching right now get home healthy, get home happy, and get home soon. But it's truly, truly a blessing to have Brian sitting here with his dad, along with Seroja Avoyan, and I see tears in his eyes, in Seroja's eyes, so I don't want to look that way because I'll start crying, but for a parent, nothing is more important than to see your child healthy, happy, away from hospitals, away from medicine, away from needles. So I hope everyone's children get home safe and get home healthy and get home very, very soon. With Seroja Avoyan is Ruben Harutyunyan, who's playing the duduk, which is a very traditional Armenian instrument, and of course Meruzhan on the violin. So just a little more music for you guys, so you guys can start an amazing week. A Monday morning starts with music. I hope the rest of the week goes well too. And again, we want to thank the doctor who performed the surgery, Dr. Frank H. Yes, where is he? I thought I found him. There he is. You're just, I can't call your hands talented, but you're so knowledgeable that your knowledge transferred from your brain to your hands to perform such a surgery. To be the first one in the Children's Hospital here in Los Angeles, and to only have it be done a dozen times, and you being, one of them. We thank you. Really, truly thank you, and we wish you health so you can continue doing what you're doing for many other families, and hopefully not many in need. So with that said, let's hear some more music, yes? Perfect. It's an Armenian dance. I will not be dancing, I'm sorry. But it's one of the most famous ones that you hear at a lot of parties. So Brian, let's hear yours a little louder. Come on, you have more energy, come on. You guys can clap along. Brian, shoot up. So, իրանք էլի են ուզում որևէ մի համար լսեն։ Do that. Yeah, do it again. Antes. Good job.
Just do it. Next time.
Thank you.